Hi everybody, it's Laura Duggan and I'm here with Katie Duggan. We had such a great time presenting our Spotlight seminar at Starpower in San Diego that we thought we would deliver a copy of this same webinar to you in webinar format. So our topic was webinar strategies and how to produce informative webinars so that you could fill your pipeline with buyers and sellers. We've had a lot of great fun at West Austin Properties this last year doing webinars. We started them in December of last year, and so we've done one a month, and it's just a really great way to deliver information. I don't know about you, but I really don't like to be videotaped. Every time Katie sticks a video camera in my face, I just kind of go cold, and I don't really want to do it. But webinars are really fun because the audience can't see you. They can hear your voice and they can see your computer screen, but they can't see you. So it's a lot less intimidating. All right, so let's talk about the basics of webinars. And they're really, really simple because you just deliver them over the web or on the phone. And again, participants are viewing your computer screen and not you, so it's intimidating. We try to keep them a lot of fun. We even had this year an audience in our office for one of them, and the first time you do it, it's a little bit intimidating, but then you loosen up and just try to have fun with it so that people are enjoying your content and it's just not so intense. So this is an example of one of the webinars that we held recently. Katie has actually acted as our moderator for several of them. We've done them in all kinds of different formats and combinations with different people, but here you can see she has a headset on, and she also has the Blue Snowball, which is our microphone. I love the Blue Snowball, and just a laptop. And you can have more than one person sitting there, and it's pretty easy to do. So one of the reasons we started doing webinars is because we wanted to position ourselves as experts in the market, and no one else in our entire marketplace are doing webinars. So it was a really great way to deliver content and do it in a unique way. And it also provides a real good opportunity to train both your clients and so if you answer a question more than one time, you can do a webinar and do training. Some of the great topics that you might think about in the way of training are what happens during a home inspection. You might pull an inspector in and just talk about the inspection process or the appraisal process. And we love webinars too because they're sustainable. Once you do the webinar, you record it just like we're recording it for you right now, and then we post it on our website, in our blog. They can be emailed. They're on our YouTube channel. So the information is scalable. You can reach so many people. It's really great. And by posting these webinars on our blog and on our website, it really helps the SEO of our sites, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And of course, what we're trying to do is build future clients. So regardless of how many people you have sign up for your webinar, if you record them and post them, then you're just leveraging that time that you spent to deliver the content, to make your slides, etc.
And it's another way for people to see you as the expert in the field. So if people are coming to your website and they're looking at your webinars, well, they may never have met you yet, but it's kind of like a pre-listing appointment or pre-buyer interview. So it's a great way to just get content out there and have people kind of see who you are.
So what we like to think of our website is our job interview. So how cool that you can go on. We did one with our lender not very long ago, and now it's a real easy sell for a buyer because they can go online, watch the webinar that we did with our lender, and they're already pre-sold both on the experience they're going to have with us, but also the experience they're going to have with the lender. We, in our monthly office, or our weekly office meetings, I should say, we decide what topic we're going to have for that month. And we sort of brainstorm those ideas. We try to alternate the topics between topics that would appeal to a buyer with topics that would appeal to a seller.
So say it's appraisal rules and regulations. You don't want that to be your title. You want to be something that would be catchy, like a tweet or a blog post title that has people engaged and want to click. So that's a great way to bring your office together, bring your team together, and kind of just throw off different ideas back and forth, and it kind of creates some team camaraderie, and also, you know, just make sure that it's something that people will want to click.
We had a lot of fun trying to name our different webinars, and Katie's right, it did bring in a lot of team type work. It was fun for all of us to both figure out the title, the content, and then sometimes you're going to want to pull in an expert. We have pulled in our lender. We've pulled in an appraiser recently that did a webinar with us, and this next month we're going to do one on wills and probate, because believe it or not, that is really, really important, especially for sellers. If they're getting ready to list their property and they've had a death in the family, that could really impact them. And then, of course, you're going to brainstorm the content with your team.
So here are some of our sample topics. Home loans made easy, and then subtitle new rules and new strategies. And then we have a boom in our downtown condo market. So this one is the highs and lows of the downtown condo market. And that's just kind of enticing people whether or not it's a good investment to purchase downtown. And then real estate investing, buying for cash flow. And this one we got straight from the CIAS course, and they already had a presentation done, a PowerPoint, so we just added a few of our touches to it, and that's a great webinar to start out with because you already have the PowerPoint made. And then selling your home in a buyer's market.
That's actually our listing presentation, and we have that password protected so that other agents obviously can't come into the site and take it.
So here's the starting slide. We both have allergies. Here's the first slide for the CIAS webinar. And as you can see, we just added our contact information, and away we went with it.
What's really great about this is the content was already done for us. So for whatever webinar you're going to do, you're going to need to do bullet points. And so you brainstorm your title, decide who the expert's going to be that does it with you, or who on your team is going to deliver it, and then you're going to want to choose bullet points. In this case, the bullet points were, here's what the benefits are going to be to the listener, how real estate compares to other assets for growth potential, etc. And for each webinar, we always put what we're going to cover, and then when we start the webinar, we tell them what we're going to cover.
So this kind of goes back to that thing of tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So it's real quick and easy, and just keep people on point. Yeah. And then here are the bones of how to actually create the webinar.
So what you're going to do is you're going to establish an account with gotowebinar.com. They do have a free 30-month trial, or 30-day trial. It'd be great if it was 30 minutes, wouldn't it? And after your 30 days, you can subscribe to it. It's not expensive, and they charge you based on the number of people that are actually on the webinar. So if your number of sign-ups are less than 100, it's pretty reasonable. And then you're going to schedule your webinar right there in the webinar, GoToWebinar site, and you build your invitation. So it walks you through the process. You put your title in, you put your bullet points in, and the date and time, and then it actually does the invitation for you.
And so it's an email that's sent out to all your contacts, and it has where they can register, what they're going to learn about, when the webinar is. And the good thing about these GoToMeetings is you can host them whenever you want. So if you've already done the webinar, you could do it, once a week, or you can replay it. And so even if it's set for Wednesday at 6 and people can't come and see it, that's okay, because you can replay it and repost it. So then this is part of our promotion. So you broadcast it, then you post it on Facebook, on Twitter, and share it to all your clients, and then it syndicates out to your database and then to the whole internet.
That's right. Now, part of this is you take that invitation that you just saw, and you're going to broadcast it to your email database. We do that through iContact.
Through iContact. Okay, and then here's another way we share it. This is on our website. We've created a button.
Sorry, guys.
It's not like San Diego, back in Austin. And this one was selling your home in a buyer's market, and they would just click this button, and it would take them straight to the registration page.
So the more you promote it before you have the webinar, the better the attendance will be. But honestly, it doesn't matter if you have one person or 500. If you build great content, then you've got it to post, and you can do it on any array of topics. It's scalable, and it's great to have for later.
So you can think of it kind of like a video blog, but maybe a topic that's more than 2 to 3 minutes, something that you really want to dive into. You want to interview your vendors, you want to talk to local experts and really dive into a subject.
I mean, even thought about doing a webinar on our real estate contract, because those contracts are always changing, and it would be great to be able to go through the different sections of it so that you have that for people to reference later.
And then your presentation, you just create it in PowerPoint or Keynote if you have a Mac, and it's typically we do 35 to 40 slides, and you may think that's a lot at first, but it's perfect time to keep it around an hour. And if you bring in one of your vendors or one of your experts, this is something that they'll do for you. When we had our lender come in, he created the presentation, and then we went through it each time an hour before and kind of do dinner with them, and then we start the presentation, the webinar. So, and then make sure you add a bunch of pictures and graphics, because you don't want it to be stale. You want graphs for them to look at. You want them to engage in the screen. Otherwise, instead of looking at the presentation, which hopefully you're not doing, they may be surfing online. They may be looking at other things and just listening. So keep their eyes on your computer screen however you can.
You want it to be fun. So adding pictures and graphics does make it more interesting. And then once you've created your PowerPoint, which is the outline of your webinar, you're going to save it to a file on your desktop. Like I have a file on my desktop that just says webinars, and all that's in that file are all the different webinars that we've done.
So here's the equipment you're going to need. One is a microphone, and we use the USB mic Blue Snowball, and you can get the Blue Snowball online. I think it's like $95.
It's real cheap, and it's a fabulous microphone because it plugs right straight in to the front of your computer.
Just through a USB, and 2 or 3 people can use it to talk through. So like we're just sitting around a table talking. And then a headset if you want. I use a headset as the moderator just so I can sit at my own desk, kind of cancel out the noise of them talking on the other side of the room, and kind of gauge the webinar and talk and not have to sit right next to them.
So Katie actually manages the webinar, and we'll show you that here in just a minute. But she's able to converse actually with the attendees that are on the webinar, because they can type in questions and that type of thing. So it's nice to have a moderator.
Yeah. So not via the headset, but I can answer their questions online. And then the screen recording software, so this is how they record the PowerPoint, how they see your PowerPoint. And you can either do Camtasia, or I guess you need both, Camtasia and ScreenFlow. And one records the screen and one records your sound.
That's right, and you meld them together.
And it's really easy. If you've ever played around with iMovie, it's the same thing. If you haven't, don't worry. You literally just cut the front off if you've been talking before you start it, and maybe cut the end off if you're answering questions or it goes too long. And then you just export it and post it. So it's not hard to use whatsoever.
One thing you will want, though, is to have the computer that you do it on hardwired into the internet, because you don't want fluctuations in that connection.
It is really annoying if you're on and you're trying to watch and then their internet cuts off, so you either lose the audio or you lose their slides.
So just get a long cord and connect.
So here I am doing a webinar, and the thing in front of me, the white thing, it's called the blue snowball, and that's the mic. And then just to show you all the equipment, I'm also wearing the headset. It's called the Boom, and you can talk right into it and you can hear. And then this blue snowball is just connected straight into the USB drive. So, and then the people, I'm the moderator, and I start it off, get them going. If there's, a little stale, I'll jump in, ask some questions, keep it going, just keep it lively. And I can see all of the people that are on, and it'll, if someone's looking at another screen, they'll start to get blurry, kind of like an instant messenger.
It's in a control panel that she can see as a facilitator in the GoToWebinar software.
Correct. So I can kind of look at them and be like, hey, pick it up, or if some people are dropping off, I can see that. And so it's a good way to just have someone checking on your audience while, the presenters are presenting. And then the presenters, and that can include an expert that you're interviewing and talking to. And then for our first few, we had a technical person, and they are there to make sure that you don't lose your internet connection, the input in your microphone is up all the way. They're sitting there if any of the listeners are having problems and answering tech and typing in tech questions, they can field those. So it's a great way to keep everything running on the back end. And then attendees, like we said, we've hosted webinars where we invited people to come, and it adds a lot of energy to the room. And then we can answer their questions as well.
The technical person doesn't have to be, that technical. Just somebody that does know how to, run a meeting on GoToWebinar.
So any 20-year-old.
Yeah. So one of the fun things, too, on the backslide is, rather than getting an expert every time, involve your team members, because you've got a lot of talent on your team, and it's fun to involve different people. Like Gail, one of our team members, loves to sell condos, so she wanted to do the highs and lows of the downtown condo market, and so we put her in charge of that webinar. You don't always have to do them yourself, and we just reviewed the content. Then she invited a title person from a title company downtown that does a lot of condo closings, and the two of them did it. It was really good.
So we try to do a webinar on the third Wednesday of each month. So that the start of the month, we can talk about what we want our webinar to be. By the second week, we're starting to, get the slides done or see who's doing the slides. And then by the third week, we can just kind of practice and make sure it's set. So y'all don't spend a lot of time on this. This is just supposed to be something that you put some time for just once a month and get it going, because in a year you have 12 webinars up. So,
and think what awesome content that is, because you can post them and then write little bits about it for your website, and it really does boost your SEO. So after the thing is over, we post the recording again on the website, and then we send out a thank you to the attendees, and sometimes there might be a follow-up like, After the appraisal webinar that we did, we sent out a sample appraisal to the people that attended because we said we would do that during the webinar. And then you can add anybody that attends to a drip campaign. Make sure that they get invitations to your future webinars because you get really detailed information about the people that are on the webinar. It's really great.
And you'll have a lot of people who missed the webinar, and this is a great way to put them into your drip campaign and resend that webinar to them. So you make sure not to lose your contacts. Okay, let me just come back down. So like you see, there may be a few technical glitches, but that's okay. Just keep going with it.
Yeah, it's not going to always be perfect, and that's why, sometimes they don't let me touch the buttons there. So this was the highs and lows of the downtown condo market. This is actually our blog site. We do what's the name of our blog?
West Austin Marketplace.
I know the name of it, but who's the provider? Can't think of it.
Oh, Agent Press.
Oh, Agent WordPress. Sorry.
So it's WordPress.com, and then Agent Press, they do blogs for realtors. So if you go to, I think it's agentpress.com/demo, you can see what a sample realtor website looks like. But it's great because it's customizable.
The thing I love about this one is it's very inexpensive. And you can do all these plugins. One of them, of course, is the webinar. So you've got your IDX up here, and then down below that, view our recent webinars. And then in the middle, as you scroll down, all the webinars are there, right there for people to view.
And you have buttons that you can share it to Facebook or tweet it. All of these up here you can change. So when you start doing webinars, you just add that folder or that page, and it goes straight there. Okay, and then here's our website, or westaustin.com, and this is the front page of our website, and we just have this button that we showed you earlier about our webinars, and so they'll click here and it'll go to our webinars page. And people are really impressed by webinars, so this is great for a listing presentation to show that we're doing something that no other agents are doing.
Our blog looks real similar to our website. The great thing about having both of them is that we can kind of weave back and forth from one to the other, and we have the webinars posted on both. So some of the questions that we got at Starpower were, how many people do you have attend your webinars on a regular basis? And it just depends on the topic, and it depends on how much you promote it. Recently, I've gotten to the point where I don't promote it that much before the webinar because I use the webinar so much after we've recorded them already. But just think, if you have a guest presenter, you can have them post on their website, or you can ask them to help you distribute the invitation for it. And the point is just have a really good time and deliver the content and then reuse it. Make it scalable and
it's a
leverage
great way
it.
for new clients to kind of find out a little bit about you and your team and your knowledge base before they've really gotten to know you. So we have a lot of our new clients get on our webinars and kind of find out more about us without, actually talking back. It's kind of like a one-way mirror to see what we're doing.
Yeah, because the thing is, people now want to know who your authentic self is, and you sure show your authenticity, I think, with the webinar or even with the video, and people really seem to like them. So what you're trying to do is build a database full of people that it's a loyal following, and we've had a lot of really good fun with it. So go to westaustin.com or West Austin Marketplace and look at some of our webinars, and thanks. We hope you enjoyed this.
And if you'd like an email of just the slides that we've posted to go back through, you can like my Facebook page at Katie Duggan Realtor on Facebook and shoot me a message, and I will send you those slides. So
Thanks,
thank you so
everybody.
much.
Bye.